I would like to take you guys on the arc of the essence of TED over the next few moments. And my hope here is to start out with some observations about technology, and then some theories around education, and then really end with some theories around design and how to use design to redefine the future. As Walker and Jack had said, my background is in experiential outdoor education. And there's a lot of different things to a lot of different people. For some folks, it might look like they think it being a mountain guide, right? For other folks, it might be the person that gives merit badges. So there's lots of different ways that this experiential outdoor educator is viewed. My own personal view on what I'm doing is not dissimilar to any other educator out there. I am looking to create successful people, right? That is my core goal, is to create success. The essence of how I start that might be a little bit different, right? For me, it's about creating safe and a variety of different opportunities for discomfort. Right? Because in discomfort, right, there is a trajectory to get to success, right? It's a little bit like this. So through discomfort, right, spending time in discomfort, having a little bit of repetition there, right, things start to become a little bit more comfortable, right? And comfort, right, is where we all want to be. In comfort, you start to find some confidence, right? And confidence, at its core, is how we all become more successful. We're able to inhabit more places in the world in confidence, and that creates success. Regardless of how you define success, if you are confident, you will be successful. In the outdoor realm, kind of what that ends up looking a little bit like. An example might be, on a backpacking trip, right? You just got a 1/4-inch little piece of foam you're sleeping on, right? That is miserable for the first few nights that you're out there, right? And then over time, you find night 3, night 4, right? You find yourself thinking about it on the trail, how you're going to get to that piece of comfort, right? And then all of a sudden, you find yourself more and more confident, diving into the tent, laying down on that thing, and getting a really wonderful night's sleep, right? And this then translates, right, into a bunch of different other places in your life. Like, there might be times where there's a hurricane, there's so many different other things that might come up, natural disaster, where you've had the experience of sleeping on a super thin mat. Maybe you're traveling abroad, right? And that is no longer a place where you are uncomfortable, right? You've got some confidence there. You've got some success there. Right? So that's one way that this could play itself out. Another opportunity might be in map and trail navigation, right? You and a partner, right, are helping lead the group, the rest of the participants, through the outdoors. And along the way, you get off the route plan, right? Technical way of saying you get lost, right? You are no longer where you think you are going to be, right? And through having some poise and some experience and some moments to be able to recalibrate, find out where you are, come up with a game plan, right? You're able to create some confidence in these scenarios. That then translates into you're having a hard conversation with your parents. You're in a boardroom, right? And all of a sudden, conversation's taking a hard left-hand turn, and you're able to reorient yourself to the overall objectives that you're looking to do. Right? These elements of education are still present, right? But their foundation is discomfort and finding those places that are uncomfortable, spending some time in there through repetition, moving to comfort. From comfort, you're able to exist in more spaces in the world. You're able to have more places where you have confidence and success. So that's the educational route, the experiential outdoor education route. Another piece of that I'm acutely aware of in my own personal life is our diminished opportunity to have critical self-reflection. Right? And what I mean by that is there are so few opportunities to not be distracted and have the opportunity to take a look at how we're interacting with the world around us and process that internally. Take a look at that. So have those moments away from distraction where we're able to synthesize what's happening in our lives and how we're reacting and responding, right? I think not that far back, I would have 5 to 14 minutes, right, in the bathroom every single day, right, without distraction, where I was thinking about whatever else I needed to think about for how I had to operate it in the world, right? Now, there's nobody. I feel very comfortable saying that each and every one of the folks out here have at some point, right, gotten into the bathroom, whipped out the Wonder Destroyer, right, and all of a sudden, you're not spending any time critically reflecting on those moments in your life, right? I would love to get the Pew Charitable Trust to fund some research to see how much stagnation there has been in the world from titans of industry no longer having those moments in the bathroom, to have the epiphanies that we've all had. So much of my life has been like, where the arc of my life has been kind of dictated by those moments that I used to have that I no longer have, because there are so many different ways that I'm able to distract myself. This idea of profile, right? So much of our time is spent kind of projecting out who we are out into the world, right? Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn. I could go on and on and on. How many places? My local grocery store just asked me to fill out a profile. And it's endless how often we're asked to present an image of who we are out into the world and not really asked to take a moment to reflect on who we are internally. Though that's true, right, I do see that there's a variety of different opportunities that exist in the outdoors to be away from that distraction, to be away from all those places and spaces where we're actively presenting out to the world who we are. Some examples of that might be taking a look at maybe you and some friends head out on a kayaking trip. And you're kayaking, you're out away from devices, right, and you head towards some tide pools. And in these tide pools, there's organisms that part of the day, they're fully submerged. They're underwater, right? 4 hours later, mid-tide, they're getting beat by the waves. Same organisms are now being beat by waves, right? 4 hours later, they're out in the blazing hot sun getting desiccated by the sun. And all these organisms have developed strategies and adaptations for living in these spaces, right? And then you overlay that our experience. Like, how am I responding when I'm getting beat by waves? What are the coping mechanisms that I've developed when I'm underwater, right? There is a way that being in the outdoors just inherently does this. Recently, I was taking a look at some fire ecology, wildfires are just so relevant in this moment, right? And there's so many ways in which we look at wildfire as this destructive process. But fire ecology says that so many organisms need fire, right, to be able to propagate. I would venture to say that there are many places in our own lives where we've needed to have things burned to the ground, right, before we can find those opportunities for growth. How has passion, fury led to growth in our own lives? So as I think about this wonderful idea of kind of redefining the future, where I go to is redefining the future is going to be as much about how we take on issues of politics and energy and business, right? These large theories and large problems that we encounter, as much as it's going to be about how we respond, right, to those moments that we have in between the larger actions that we have that make up our life. Redefining the future is going to be about defining where we are in the present. Thank you.